officially logging in to my Harvard course site for the very first time.
I'm not gonna be safe in getting through tomorrow. When I throw me down, you can lead me to the side.
Happy Tuesday. Today is my orientation for my Master of Bioethics program, and I'm super excited. So I'm like very early to this Zoom meeting and just waiting to be let in, and I'll let you guys know how it goes afterwards.
They're all on Canvas and with a long descriptions of what they're doing. So please feel free to reach out to them, to say hello, to thank them for all they do for us, and with any questions you have.
I feel like I sit down on the couch to give you guys updates a lot, but anyways, orientation is finished, and it was very nice to kind of like see everybody's faces. Most people had their cameras on and stuff, so that was nice. We learned a lot about like the history of Harvard Med School and the history of bioethics within that, and also like talked about logistic type stuff, but did some icebreakers, that kind of thing. But the majority of our orientation is like online, and it's like asynchronous, so like do it on your own time type of thing. And it's a little confusing, and I think people are still getting the hang of like where to find different information. So like I'm in a clinical ethics consortium tutorial class, and so I guess they have these consortia that everybody can go to, but then if you go to all of them in a chunk and then also do a little bit of extra stuff, then that's like the consortia tutorial class, and so you can get credit for it. So that's what I'm in. So it was a little confusing trying to figure out like what I have to go to and what I don't. But hopefully all of those questions are now answered for me, and I'm not going to miss anything now that we did like this Q&A. Otherwise, I have my first class tomorrow night, and it's clinical ethics. And we have a discussion to participate in, and I was looking over the syllabus and stuff, and it looks like it's 3 essays or 3 papers to write and participation, and that is all of the grade. Like each of those things is 25% of the grade. So participation and 3 papers, and that is all of my grade. But anyways, we're gonna see what that's like. I've been hearing from some of the second year part-time students that it's a really cool class, so I'm really excited about it. But now that orientation is over, I'm going to be finishing up some research stuff that I still have left over from Mailman, as well as another research project that I had picked up over the summer. So I'm gonna be working on that. And then tomorrow I'll be getting ready for the semester to officially start. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, I guess today is the start of my semester, really. I mean, it's crazy to think of after this really weird summer and spring term with everything going on in the world, that now there's going to be some sense of normalcy, going back to like some type of routine. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated.
It ain't over. It ain't over. It ain't over. It ain't over.
Happy Wednesday. So this is probably my busiest day of the whole week because I have a call right now with one of my research projects, and then later today I have another call for the other research project, and for both of them we are like wrapping up data stuff. So yeah, and then after the second research call I have my first class for my new master's program. So it's going to be a really busy day. In between that, I'm going to try to start a bullet journal, but we're going to see how it goes. So I just got done in my second research call of the day, and this one was also super productive. Each of these calls have been like 2 hours, so they're like a little just like mentally tiring, but both have been super, super productive. And now I have a little bit of time, let's see, about 2 hours. I have about 2 hours to prepare for my first clinical ethics class, which is at 7 p.m. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. And there's a bunch of modules online that we have to do before class. So feeling a little overwhelmed, but this is what we're doing now. So let you know how class goes.
From the persons who are leaning towards the right side.
Even if you don't necessarily agree, but feel like you can take a step forward from that perspective, you can.
That is actually a fantastic point. So you need not personally be anyone who's actually asking.
Okay, so I have finished my very first class of my bioethics program, and pretty much, I guess I'll kind of explain how it works. So pretty much every class definitely every class we have pre-work, and pretty much for every class, the pre-work looks something like, we have readings to do, we have videos to watch. So our professor basically like records the lecture portion of the class ahead of time and posts that for us to watch. And we have some mandatory videos and some optional videos, just like we have some mandatory readings and some optional readings. And then we also have, so this is all before class, we have questions like surveys to answer. Sometimes they want us to do the surveys before the readings, and then sometimes they want us to do them after to get an idea of sort of, I guess, how our opinions are before or after some of the readings and videos and things like that. And then we have prep questions, which we don't have to turn in or anything, but they're basically just for us to do a learning check to see if we feel like we can answer the questions and like understand the concepts that are going to be talked about in the upcoming lecture. So, and then the lecture, well, I guess it's not so much a lecture, but the actual class, the like synchronous part, so the like Zoom session is all like application of practice, like going through clinical cases. So this is my clinical ethics class, so we go through clinical cases. The only other like standard type class that I'm taking this semester is the foundations, and so that one might be set up differently. I'll let you guys know next Tuesday when I finally take my first section of that class. But otherwise, I just have my prep for my next clinical ethics, and then I also have a clinical ethics consortium on this Friday. And so I think I talked earlier about how basically if you go to all of the clinical ethics consortium and do a little bit extra, you can get credit for that as a class. And they have consortia on clinical ethics, research ethics, and health policy. And so basically, like if you attend all of them within a certain one of those categories, then you can take it for credit, like as a class. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I know right now. We didn't have too much for this pre-class work. We only had 2 required readings and 2 required videos, and the videos are only like 10 minutes long. Oh, and there's also always a discussion board question too. So yeah, it's a decent amount of pre-class work. And next week we only have more. So next week I think there's 4 required readings and 4 required videos and 4 discussion boards, but we don't have to participate in all of them. We can pick whichever one is the most interesting to us. So yeah, that was pretty much the first class for clinical ethics. Good morning. So I come to you from New York City today, and I am just going to be reading up on our Canvas site on like what the heck is going on in my classes, because right now I feel like really unprepared and just really overwhelmed, and I don't like feel comfortable entirely like talking in class and stuff. And so I'm thinking that if I just read through literally everything, which obviously I've been like reading the updates, but if I just like go through and read everything, I can figure out what the heck is going on and feel more like secure. I also feel like multiple people probably feel like this. So it's just hard, I think, with the online, because you just feel like you're missing something even if you aren't. So yeah. And then later today, I am going to run the errand that I was here for in the first place, which just has to do with like actually finally finishing everything with my old apartment here in New York. So yeah, that is going to be the weekend. For our foundations class, they finally published the Canvas site, and so I think the only thing that they want us to do to prepare for our first class, which is on Tuesday, is to watch the imitation game. So I think that our class is having like a watch party tomorrow-ish, and that's pretty much the weekend. It's a long weekend, so luckily I have like all of Monday too off to also work on my bullet journal. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw that I finally started a bullet journal. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Officially about to start class number 3 of my entire program. Our second class was technically my like consortium thing. So it was like an hour and a half of the actual consortium and then an hour and a half of like discussion afterwards. I think I forgot to like vlog any of that stuff. For this class, this is my first session of foundations, and our only pre-work was watching the imitation game. So it's fun enough pre-work.
Moving on, someone told me that I could find it. I will find my way. Gotta keep looking. If it's not fair, gotta.
So it is decidedly not the same week anymore. It is Tuesday of my 3rd official week. So my first 2 weeks were kind of like spread into like one big first week, I feel like. But I spent the whole weekend pretty much like trying to do readings and finishing up this first foundations writing assignment that was due earlier this morning, but I submitted last night. So that has been my first week, and I think I'm gonna end it here, obviously. And you know, if you want to see these every once in a while, be sure to let me know, like, comment, message me on Instagram, all that stuff. You guys already know the drill. All right, I'll see you next week.
I'm not over. I just want me to find it, 'cause I'm not